Over Twitter and in my YouTube comments, I've been hearing and seeing a lot of people commenting about the Discord logo, asking me to review it, but I thought I'd go one step further today and basically look at other people's reactions to the logo and explain why they've changed, and explain from a professional designer's perspective why the logo changed. I've seen and heard some hilarious things so far about the logo and how wrong people are about the design, so I'm going to share them with you. This video is brought to you by FreshBooks. So first of all, if you don't know, Discord changed their brand or their logo design. Basically what they did is they changed the icon, which is called Clyde. They changed their logo type, which is their word mark, and the color, which is blurple. They've made it a bit brighter. In their blog post, we can see why they've changed their logo. They say that it's got 150 million active users. People use this service not just for gaming, but for other things like calling communities. For instance, we have a Discord server called Creative Insiders. It's not a gaming server or anything like that. It's sort of just a community, and a lot of people have been brought over to Discord for the community aspect, not just for communication through gaming. And you can see the old logo here. It doesn't look as good. If you're a logo designer, you would suggest, yeah, it's okay, it looks good, but there are a few fundamental problems. You can see Clyde here, which is what this thing is called. It's like a gaming controller, is within a speech bubble, which is very literal for what Discord is. You don't need that. It's just an extra layer of nonsense inside of a design. Then you've got Clyde here in the middle, which is a nice icon, but as you can tell, it's very pointy, and the problem is the negative space between these points are very hard to see when they're scaled down, so it makes it harder to print. So as a designer, obviously I'm seeing things that other people don't. So let's hear what other people who may or may not be designers have said about this design.
So quite recently, Discord decided to change its logo for its 6th anniversary, and quite frankly, I don't think it has a overall positive feedback. I mean, the first tweet that's literally under this is downgraded the century.
Don't understand why people do think it's a downgrade. It just doesn't compute with me.
And you know what? I would agree. This is the downgraded the century. There's just this logo is like, it's just so bad. Like, it's just so bad. Like, I genuinely cannot describe how much I hate this logo.
The reason why you can't describe how bad the logo is because you don't know what you're talking about in the nicest way possible. The logo in itself is highly functional, and you can tell the company are moving into a different direction. They're not just going for gamers. Can we look at the first logo? Let's look at the first Discord logo. You see this type? This Discord type, that's awful, but people love that for some reason. It's what I would call GFX. GFX is like the graphic design of, the gaming world, which is most of the time awful, full of gradients and whatnot. And it worked for then, and you can read it, people like it, but there is no comparison. You can see here there is no comparison to which one is more professional and fun and playful.
There's probably like a small handful of people who actually enjoy this, but for many people, and including me, just to be straightforward, I really hate this logo. So if you're not familiar with the old...
But why do you hate... This is the problem. The people who aren't designers will just tell you they hate it, and it's kind of like talking to a client. They'll just say they kind of hate the logo. It doesn't make sense.
The Discord logo, this is what it used to look like. You can tell it's Discord. It's iconic. It's very distinct.
The reason why, for me, the old Discord logo, especially the word mark, is iconic is generally because it was bad. It's all caps, and you can see in the blog post when you read it, they wanted to get the playfulness captured inside the logo whilst remaining it to be a bit more professional, but not compromising on that playfulness. They also want it to be legible. Obviously, the first logo is not very legible compared to this one. The only funky thing that I've seen, which also Naomi pointed out to me, is the eye. It kind of looks a bit weird. If I go into here, this is the actual logo that I downloaded from the brand guidelines. You can see the eye is a bit strange, and when I line things up with guides, you can see they've overshot everything pretty well. Everything's got like a nice overshoot comparative to the X height. The only thing is the D is a bit off, but everything here is just looking really nice. This is a custom logo based around a font that's already been used. I think it's called Jinto. But this, compared to the old logo up here, night and day.
It's just bad. And like the font choice, everything here, the execution is just so wrong. It just doesn't fit the Discord brand in my personal opinion.
The problem is people believe they know what the brand is, and I don't understand how people can see this. I mean, Discord was for gamers. I think it was directed towards them, so I can understand people not understanding why it's looking more like Disney, which it does. It looks a bit more like Disney in my opinion. But they are moving. Their brand is sort of pivoting and allowing other people to come in without the logo looking like it's for gamers, like GFX, if that makes sense. We've got another video.
So today, first of all, you've got the Clyde guy. It's the icon. It's the so-called game controller. The old version was a lot more slick, and the new version is a lot more blocky.
There's a reason behind this.
That's basically it. I mean, one's slick, one's blocky. It looks a little bit different. It kind of looks like it's simplified. That's it. It's easier to draw, it's easier to print, it's a lot more accessible.
Let's check Twitter to see what the difference is of people's opinions here. Let's look at some of the replies back to this. People want all the letters to be in capitals. So someone says here, Mudstep says, no offense, but this looks terrible. The new font is so bland and uncanny compared to the iconic old one. Also, the oversaturated blurple ruins the clean look of Discord. The actual icon itself looks very weird too, oversimplifying an already simple design. Again, it's not simple. The first one is definitely not simple. It's just got so much going on in there. Oversimplification is what Staples did. They oversimplified, but in a good way. This new Discord logo looks cleaner. It matches what their brand is. You can print it smaller. It looks more like an icon. It's got less of the strange negative space, less points, which is what you want. And also, not only that, you can change the emotion of it a bit easier as well, which they explain in their blog post. So if you're a bit confused, I'm a logo designer. I've designed logos for hundreds of companies and I've worked in the design field for like 10 years now. Whenever a big company rebrands, people tend to not enjoy the new design of the logo, and that's simply because they don't understand logo design. They don't like change. That's the big thing. Humans like predictability. They don't like change, and anyone is going to be negative about a change in a brand. Basically, the Discord logo has changed for these reasons. They're allowing more people around the world to come into Discord, not just for gaming, so not everything is game centric, but for just communities. So that is one big thing. The new Discord logo is more playful, so they still got their brand missions and values in there, which is playfulness. They've increased the color of blurple, and yes, that is an actual color, by the way, blurple. And they increased the saturation of this, making it brighter and more vivid, because as technology advances, screen technology primarily, the more we can see from that screen and the more it stands out. Now, the old blurple was a highly muted version of this color. This is the color that I would have always chosen for Discord anyway. And one of my pet peeves from the start was that the blurple was way too muted. It was more of a pastel color, which didn't fit with their brand anyway. So let's talk about Clyde. This is Clyde here. He is the icon of Discord. He is iconic. And you can still see that the Clyde is in there. They've only changed a fairly few things. They've simplified the whole shape and they've got rid of a lot of different points that did not need to be in there, something that doesn't serve, that people don't look at very much. The main points in the logo they see is the sort of outer perimeter of the logo and the eyes. Now, the great thing about this is you can make it more of an interactive logo, so the logo can be happy and sad, which is what they've done right here. So the logo can look in different emotions because it's playful. The company is playful and they want to get this across, and you can see it works so much better with the eyes there as well. Like every eye has got sort of a different emotion there for you, so it can make your time on Discord more interactive. Here we can see some of the different shapes, because Clyde is meant to be a controller for gaming, and they didn't want to get rid of that because it is still a game-centric service, but they also wanted to simplify it down. How do you get a controller and Clyde to be simplified down? And you can see here their process in doing so, all the different ideas. This wasn't just something that a designer created to make it, you know, more corporately compelling. It's to advance the company in a new pivot. One of the big features you can see here, that Clyde has actually changed the top. You've got more of a nub at the top now with his ears, and everything is just a lot more refined, sharp edged. You can see all the gridding that's gone on in here. So from a professional logo designer standpoint, they've changed the logo because they're pivoting to more of an inclusive company to all people, not just gamers. Now, were those people wrong in those videos? Yes, and let me explain why. Number one, you don't know much about design. So design is not art. It's not something that is subjective. It is objective most of the time. Logo design is, number one, meant to be functional, and two, it is the face of the brand. That doesn't mean that it has to show every single part of the brand. It can be anything. Heck, this is just a place to talk, and they've got a controller as the logo that sort of morphed into this new mascot logo they've got here. Logo design is functional. It's supposed to show a company, and from this you can definitely tell this is a more modern version of Discord. As companies grow and values change within companies because of the increased growth that they've had, which for Discord has been huge, then they need to change the design to fit where they are. If you're someone who doesn't like the word mark, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm a logo type designer, so I specialize in logo type design. So I spend a lot of time working on logos, words. The reason why they changed this one is it looks more professional, but doesn't compromise on the playfulness. Everything about it is more legible. Everything about it is clearer, which is the idea. The old logo with all those points in it didn't look playful at all. It didn't fit their brand. The old logo just looked terrible compared to this one. Obviously, any logo design will do, but as a logo designer and as someone who's worked in this field for years, those who are saying that it's bad are just wrong. And I don't believe this to be an opinion thing. I believe from a design standpoint, I spend so much time looking at design and where it's going, and this is where it's going. And I've always said companies will just increase saturation of their brand color, which for Discord is blurple. I've always said that they'll be simplifying the icons down because that is the way technology is. As devices get smaller, like the Apple Watch, the icon needs to get even more legible and recognizable in smaller spaces. And also, so does the word mark. I just want to thank FreshBooks for sponsoring this video. I'm a designer, and maybe you are too, or you own a small business. Well, FreshBooks is a cloud accounting software that you can use to send invoices, gather up all your expenses, and get paid even faster. FreshBooks has been proven to get you paid faster through the software. Now, my best feature on FreshBooks is the ability to see when a client has viewed an invoice. So when they say that they're late or because they haven't seen the invoice, then you know that they are lying. You know that they should pay you. Not only that, but you've got automatic late fees that you can add on to the invoice. You've got recurring fees, so you can actually set up a recurring invoice for retainers. And probably the coolest feature is that you can link your bank account with FreshBooks as well, and it will track all the payments that come in and out, so you don't have to manually input them all the time into FreshBooks. And if you have an accountant, you can give them access to FreshBooks to sort out your taxing. But don't take my word for it. If you'd like to try FreshBooks out for completely free, risk-free, no credit card required, click the link down below to get 30 days for free and let them know that Will Paterson sent them to you. If you did enjoy this video and would like me to critique other people's critiques of logos that are happening, then make sure you press that red subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.